and welcome back to the only, wow, hello, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You're watching Daily Dive. It is Friday, January the 3rd, 2025. I am your host, Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in back-to-back Bandit Land, New York. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube and X. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports YouTube channel for other great shows and live sports. And a reminder, the Roku app for 12 on Sports goes live on January the 7th. On today's awesome show, we're going to first talk to Professor Adam Levi as we hype up the 3 games in week number 6 while also talking about the Dyson Williams documentary. We'll also get to a betting preview. It's just me today. And then we'll get into Pick'em for week 6. Mike and producer Joe's Pick'em and best bets for this week. We want to let you know before we get started that this show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's tickets.numbers12lettersozsports.com. Get your NLL tickets for less by going to that website. That website also includes every sport and all your favorite artists' concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets.12onsports.com. It is now my pleasure to welcome in friend of the show, Adam Levi. Adam, how are you today, sir? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Mike, and Happy New Year to you and producer Joe. 2025 is going to be a great year, I'm sure, for Daily Dive. I'm sure you guys have plenty of exciting things planned, but I'm sure when the time is ready to unveil those plans, you will do so.
Let's hope so, right? How's everybody at Lacrosse Matrix and Preston's Picks and It Wobble?
It Wobble's great. We just did our first live episode this past week.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very cool. Got some questions answered on the spot there. Stamper and I really broke down so many different facets of last week's action. Looking forward to this week as well. So check that out on Blue Squatch Productions YouTube channel. We're really trying to make that a fun project. Lacrosse Matrix Logan Schuss episode is going to be coming out soon with the holidays and stuff that's been a little bit delayed. He wants to get back on the floor. So if there's a team out there who needs help from a veteran forward, please go sign him.
Exactly, and Preston did make his picks this week, right?
He did make his picks. Only 3 games, so the odds of him doing very well is good. I feel pretty confident. Last week he went 5 for 6, so fingers crossed he keeps it going.
Yeah, I was I think it was like 2 and 4 maybe. Producer Joe went 3 and 3, so it wasn't much better. That's not a winning week, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think someone had tweeted out that you had to be a psycho in order to get a perfect week. So, I'm not sure if I want to call my kid a psycho, but he definitely seems to have a knack on picking teams, at least at the moment.
Agreed. All right, I want to mention this before we get going because it is obviously there is a game this week between Albany and Las Vegas, but before we get into that game, Albany's Dyson Williams. You had a documentary short with you and forget Steven's last name.
Steve Wisnick of the Albany Firewolves was a key contributor and producer of this. The strings that he pulled on behalf of the Firewolves organization to help make this happen was really special, and we owe so much to that organization for working with us on this project. Yeah.
Also, it's got a ton of. In terms of, the NLL, like the ceiling of views, I feel like they've pretty much, that video is doing very well. I keep on checking back on it, keeps on getting tens of thousands of views, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's been shared out by the Lacrosse Network, which is nice. I know actually also the National Lacrosse League will be showing a snippet of it during each of this weekend's halftime of the games this weekend, so very exciting that they're jumping on board. There's big moments, that happen in the National Lacrosse League, things that can really help transform and make us think about the game differently and embrace content differently. And so it's good to see that people are really excited about the project because it's an emotional story, and it's really one that you should go check out on the Albany Firewolves YouTube page.
5,000 views, by the way. I had to check that and make sure I was getting that correct there. All right, so speaking of the Firewolves and Dyson, his father, Sean, brings the Las Vegas Desert Dogs into town. A game that she will be at. I believe our social media guy will be at as well. It's going to be a fun one. Tucker Out Lymphoma Cup begins. Tell us about all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and it was said perfectly in the documentary short by Dyson Williams, that, Tucker loved lacrosse so much. It was his passion. It was everything that he wanted to be doing in his young life. And, the best way to honor him, which I think everyone is on the same page, is to play the game that he wants to be or wanted to be playing right now. And, to embrace lacrosse and for the community to embrace him and the Williams family in this way. I don't think that there's any better way to honor Tucker than to have this Tucker Out Lymphoma Cup.
Yeah, have you seen those jerseys that Dyson designed for Albany? They're pretty sick.
Yeah, he's been part of that process with the Buffalo Bandits when they would have their original Tucker Out Lymphoma nights starting in 2014. It's been great that the whole family gets involved. One of the things that, I've learned getting to know them a little bit is that they're so open and they share, what's on their mind and what's on their hearts. And it's really refreshing because it's honest, it's raw, and it shows where they are as people and who they are as people. And I think that that's incredibly admirable. And we don't see a lot of that today, particularly in the sports world. So it's really wonderful to see.
So when this game goes down, giving a fighting chance for Las Vegas, because the spread is now 2.5 on all the books. And we just got to know, man, like, does Las Vegas have a chance here? Because Albany's good, but they just keep blowing leads, man.
They do. So I actually I posted it on social media just a few moments ago. I have a feature article out on the Albany Firewolves and their hope for a turnaround the rest of the way. And really, this team could be 4-0, Mike. I know that it was your reacts or overreacts, one of those you were talking about where the team was. And they acknowledged that they could be and should probably be 4-0, and they let things slip away. I know that Coach Clark, as I wrote about in the piece, was tough on the club, particularly after the Calgary game, something that is a little bit unorthodox for him to do with this young club because he knows this is a process. But it's those big moments, those big kind of collapses, should I say, that you got to really give it to your team sometimes. And with your guy, the guy that you like so much, Callum Crawford, now joining the club, that veteran presence, a great goal scorer, a great facilitator, how is that going to impact the club? But to answer your question, I think Albany, especially on this emotional night, is going to run away with this one, and I think that they will win by at least a handful of goals.
I tend to agree with you. Hunter Smith chiming in says 14-12 Albany, which is fine. Do we know if Callum Crawford's playing this weekend?
He's expected to be playing this weekend, yes.
Yes, he's back. I'm so excited for that. And so have you made your press and pick for Albany? Making sure.
I haven't officially made it, but I would be picking
Same.
Albany.
I'm over here slacking as well. Shame on us both, man.
Well, you got to go do it. If you want to win those season tickets at the end of the year, then you got to do it every single week. Go to officepoolJunkie.com, search for Preston's picks, and make those picks. So it's definitely an awesome competition, especially when you're going against guys like Mike and producer Joe.
And Hutton Jackson, they're killing it, boys.
Yeah.
All right, so next game is 30 minutes after that one starts. It's going to be another awesome uniform, I believe. The Georgia Swarm have some sweet threads this week as they host the Rochester Nighthawks. And Connor Fields, I keep saying, is going to explode one of these games. It could be this game. It could be the next game. We'll see. But Georgia is winning those games a lot of us think they shouldn't. What do you expect in this game in Duluth?
I think that Georgia is going to continue to roll. I think that Rochester, missing Dan Coates still for the 4th consecutive game, the team just officially announced that he's going to be out for this one. Rylan Hartley still recovering from a low body injury. I was on the program a couple weeks ago and was praising Riley Hutchcraft. I think that right now the Georgia Swarm are just too good for the Nighthawks for where they are at this point of the season. And I think Georgia is underrated, and we should be talking a lot more about how good they've been. Towards the end of that Colorado game, their footwork, their off-the-ball their passing. It was unbelievable, and we've seen that all season long. They are a great team, and you are lucky to be close enough to be attending those home games because it is an awesome team to see.
Yeah, real quick story here. I honestly thought 4 hours was a long drive until I found out our social media guy drives 3 hours to Albany. So I don't really have an excuse at this point.
Well, that's good. It's good that you have someone who has such devotion to the sport on your team.
Jeez. Hunter Smith says, give me Rochester. Oh, man, come on now. I really hope Connor Fields takes over. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to Mike Hazen or any of the boys about that one yet?
About Connor Fields in particular?
Yeah, about the streak. He's just ever since you tweeted that, he hasn't been very good. Come on, man.
I think that Connor is going to figure it out. I know that basically what Coach Hazen has talked about in terms of the Rochester offense is that things are going to come together. But right now, they're definitely a little bit frustrated and a little bit snake bitten. But there is time for things to turn around. But it is getting to that point where this loss and then let's say a loss to the now, dare I say, surging Halifax Thunderbirds in Week 7, then things don't look very good for the Nighthawks. So they do need to turn things around sooner rather than later.
Well, that's the thing I'll say about Rochester. They did play the Buffalo Bandits twice already.
Yes.
It's good they got those guys out the way, but, so sad.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help your team get on a roll when you're facing a total juggernaut. And by the way, I think that's one of the reasons that we aren't talking about Georgia as much, because we've kind of already, I feel, crowned Buffalo as the should-be, will-be champions of the 2025 NLL season. And I think everyone else just hasn't been talked about. But Georgia really, I think, in my opinion, is someone that, come playoff time, if they continue this run, can be a formidable foe for Buffalo, and almost were at the end in the playoffs last season.
I really like this shirt, but I'll cover it up. Look at this! This is kind of cool.
There you go, the Georgia Swarm chiming in for you, Mike. Look at that.
I'm dead. That's. I don't think we've ever had a team chime in. So if this is the real Georgia Swarm, what's going on? That's actually pretty cool. Cool. All right, I'm not flustered right now. So next, the final game is going to be at 10 o'clock at night, and I will stay up to watch this one as well. Seals hosting the Black Bears. Something about going to San Diego is something like what I thought would be like the Las Vegas mystique. It's actually the San Diego mystique. Maybe because the barn is dark, we don't know, but it's tough over there. Ottawa just came off of a sweep against the Rock. Vibes are high in Ottawa. Are they high enough to beat the Seals?
I think that the way that Jeff Teat helped close out that game for the Ottawa Black Bears last week was incredibly impressive.
Yes.
Missing Riley O'Connor, we'll see how much that impacts the team this weekend, but bringing in Brady Kiernan to work alongside his brother Connor Kiernan, they've played quite well over the summer. That'll be a very interesting development. If he's going to play, it might be Nathan Grennan who slots in. I haven't spoken to any of the coaching staff on who they've decided is going to be filling in that spot, but if it is Brady, it's going to be a cool brotherly connection there. I do think that I'm going to keep riding the Ottawa train. I know that, San Diego, we've always, and I think I actually said this on the program last week, that they are a very exciting team. They got a lot of potential. But interestingly enough, if they were to lose this weekend, it would be the first time that they have a losing record in the regular season since December of 2021, Mike.
Wow. COVID. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. And also, I should say, from the Georgia perspective, if Georgia goes 5-0 this weekend, it will be the first time since 2008 when they were the Minnesota Swarm that they started 5-0 or better. So that is
Does that really count, though?
History. Well, yeah, it was a lot of Shane Jackson was on the Minnesota team. So, of course, I think it should count.
I guess if I count the Black Bears as the Rip Titanic, I got to count that too, right?
Yeah, and I think I have. I think I had tweeted out the fact that the Riptide, I think, were 0-12 or maybe 1-12 in December and January games, and now the Black Bears were 2-1 in December. So that's a good turnaround. That's when it comes to numbers, you love to see that.
That was another overreact segment. There you go. The switching locations just randomly helped. Thanks, guys. So long, Long Island. Any closing thoughts for you, sir? It's only 3 games, which is really sad, but oh well.
Yeah, well, the good thing, if you want to kind of flip that on its head, is that this is the slowest weekend in terms of games for the remainder of the NLL season. So it's just busier and busier from here. I know for me, I'm having an incredibly busy January. I'll be at this game in Albany this weekend, and then next weekend I'm doing a doubleheader going to Buffalo on the 10th, Rochester on the 11th, and then the next weekend I'm also doing a doubleheader going to Albany and then Philadelphia.
And your wife has approved all those things, right?
She and Preston will actually be attending the Albany game on the 18th and the Philadelphia Wings versus Vancouver Warriors on the 19th.
Well, that's awesome. Then see how that works out. Good.
Yeah, and
Get Preston in there, man.
Don't tell his school, but because he's going to the Sunday game in Philadelphia, I don't think he's going to be going to school on Monday. But he's 3; he can miss a day. He hasn't missed a day yet, so.
Yeah, not a lot of people watch the show anyways, right?
It's nice to see you be a little bit self-deprecating, but at least now you know the Georgia Swarm are watching you, Mike, which is huge. Your cheeks look as red as your shirt, which is incredible.
No, it's the reflection. That's all. That's all.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Thanks so much, Adam, and good luck on your live endeavors with It Wobble. But thanks again for your time. We'll see you next week.
Of course, Mike. Always happy to join you and enjoy those 3 games. You'll get to at least watch 2 of them tomorrow night back to back, and then go back and watch that 3rd one.
Love it. Adam Levi, everybody, for an Adam Levi Fridays edition of Daily Dive. Alrighty. When we come back, I've got to hold the reins down for a betting preview. Cannot wait to get to that. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back. I know you won't. That was what I was going to say.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A reminder that there is an audio-only podcast version of this show. Head over to Spotify and search Daily Dive, where a lot of people are driving and jogging while listening to the show. Thank you. Thank you. Check your heart rate. All righty. It is now time to get into our betting preview, where we're going to try to make some coin and just discuss the different books for this week. So, I mentioned on the show yesterday that Bet365, which has now snubbed our social media manager, Bigo, which is very unfortunate. Go to LJ Lacrosse 49 on Twitter to see that story. Bet365 now has player points props. And that's awesome because remember, Coolbet Canada was the only one doing that for a long time. This is the first time we've seen it, or at least I've seen it. I've been trying to look at this stuff for a while. And so we've got the following. We're going to talk about the player points first. So in other words, points and assists. Alex Simmons is at 6.5. Over 5.5. Over 5.5 is plus money right now on Bet365. Jack Hanna over, well, the 4.5 is the line. Connor Fields, 4.5. Lyle Thompson, 5.5 against Rochester. Jeff Teat, 6.5 points. If you pick the over, it's plus money over there. And then Ryan Benesh, 4.5. And if you pick the under, it's plus money on that. So that's really cool. I love that you can see this stuff. I love that you can bet on this stuff if you're obviously not in Georgia, which is whatever. That's our own little enemy. But it's awesome to see that the league is growing enough to where that's valuable. There is another line discrepancy in terms of the total on the first game of the week. It's the Dogs and the Firewolves. So FanDuel, which is always they usually have really good lines, but FanDuel has got the total in the Albany Las Vegas game at 21.5. Meanwhile, on DraftKings and Bet365, it's at 22.5. So if you're on the total in that game and you're kind of scared of the spread, beware. Also, the spread in the Albany Las Vegas game was at just 1.5, literally yesterday and all week. But then they noticed it went to 2.5 other books, so FanDuel also caught up. So before, there were some times where the lines would be like different across some books, and now they're kind of like catching on, which again is only good for the sport. It's bad for your pockets, but it's good for the sport. It shows that more people are betting on it, and maybe a bunch of people bet the 1.5, and now like the book is like, oh crap, we got to change that, because that can also be a thing as well. Then of course you have Rochester, Georgia. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, it felt like Georgia was only favored by 1.5, and now they're favored by 2.5 against Rochester. I could be wrong, but I feel like I saw that earlier in the week. And of course, San Diego, Ottawa, that's an interesting one to pick as well, because if I'm looking at these books right now, FanDuel, it's minus 168 for the Seals, and for DraftKings, it's all the way up to minus 180. That's basically saying it's almost 2-1 odds that the Black Bears win this game in San Diego. It's a huge upset. I don't know if I go with all the way to that angle of it, but it's something to look at as well. And again, if you're in Canada and you got cool bets, check that out as well. Check those odds out because they are a little bit more specific in Canada. But just awesome stuff there. Again, the player points is so cool on Bet365. If you create an account and yours actually works, unlike Bigo's, then make sure you're betting wisely, but also you get it. I don't even want to go. I don't even know what I was saying right there. But yeah, there's the betting preview. That's awesome. Again, there's only 3 games, no sweat. But when we come back to the show, Mike and producer Joe's picks and best bets. I had a rough week on the picks, good week on bets, but that's about it. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up next.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a baddest daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When today's awesome show ends and you're like, crap, there's games tomorrow and I want to go to them, make sure you get your tickets at tickets.12ouncesports.com. That's tickets.numbers12letters.ozsports.com. You're not going to regret seeing things live, knowing like, dang, I got those tickets for a great price. I should be an actor. All right. It is now time to get to our Pick'em segments. Our picks and best bets. And honestly, I'm having second thoughts about one of my picks, but who cares? All righty. Producer Joe went 3-3 last week. I went 2-4. It is what it is. We're now 16-11 for me and 15-12 for producer Joe. This week, we both have Albany, we both have Georgia, we both have San Diego. The one game that's making me scratch my head is Georgia-Rochester. I honestly could see Rochester pulling the upset, but I didn't pull the trigger, so joke's on me. That's the one I'm really scared about. Next up, best bets. Here they are. We got some player props on there. Ooh, wow. All right, so I'm 8-6. Producer Joe's 8-4. He's got the under 6.5 for Jeff Teat points because that little graphic just will not go away. We both, I do support that as well because Jeff Teat, I think he's going to be D'd up and he'll get like 5 or 6 points. I don't think he's going to have a 7-point night. Producer Joe also has a sworn money line, and he's got the Albany Firewolves to cover. I have got the Firewolves to cover as well. I've got the Seals money line against the Black Bears. And give me Connor Fields over 4.5 points. I'm going to go ahead and say he breaks out this week. I've been saying it for the past few weeks, but this time we got Bet365 on the action, so we're going to roll with it. Again, Connor Fields over, Jeff Teat under. Interesting. Hunter Smith is he is cracking me up all show long. That was funny. Pick Ottawa, San Diego has too many injuries and just lost to Georgia. But Georgia's good, Hunter. Come on, man. All right, that's enough debating for now. Maybe we can do it on Instagram Live later on. We'll see. All righty. Thanks so much for watching this show. Reminder, we've got social media scrolling across the bottom. For those of you on Spotify, it's Baddest Production Father on Instagram and Daddy_Producers on X for Producer Joe. Bigo is LJ Lacrosse 49 on both. Just search Michael Carvelis and you'll find me. That's Karvelis. Shout out to the Georgia Swarm for commenting today as well. That was awesome. Reminder, thank you all for watching today's show. Reminder, you're the bread, you're the butter, you are me fangirling over the Georgia Swarm. Like, we love you guys. For all of our guests that come on, like Adam Levi today and Patrick Warren most Fridays, thank you so much for sharing your audience with us, giving us validity and relevance. For Bigo, who's always getting snubbed by Bet365 and dialing it up on the social medias, and of course for the best daddy in producing history, Producer Joe, I'm your host Mike, saying have a great weekend. Enjoy the 3 games. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. This has been Daily Dive. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.